Yo, so have you heard about the black dude that stabbed the twin brothers to death?
I have not.
I think they was at a football game. I don't know. It was at some sporting event. And much like happens for a lot of black people, the white kids had walked away, I guess, and the black kid came and sat down. And then one of the twins walked up and said, according to his twin brother, he said, "Excuse me, sir. You seem to have mistakenly placed yourself in the wrong seat." And the black kid, like most niggas would do, said, "I don't see no names on these seats." I don't see no names on these seats. And then the white kid said, "Sir, if you just consider some sense and civility, then perhaps you will remove yourself and allow me to sit." And the black kid, according to the twin, was like, "Fuck out of here, bitch ass nigga, I don't play that shit, nigga, I ain't moving out no seat." And then the white kid began to remove him forcibly with his two hands. And then they got into a fist fight. And in the midst of the fist fight, the black kid pulled out a shank and stabbed this nigga in the chest.
Damn.
Now, everybody's online, and of course, they're using the story for their own political purposes. So Republicans are like, "Look at these black people. They're so goddamn violent." And then the other twin is telling the story in the best light possible. But even in the best light possible, what stands out in that story to you, my friend?
The fact that it's white and black kids.
The fact that that man put his hands on the kid and tried to remove him out the seat.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then a fight ensued, and then you got your ass stabbed to death. And let me tell you what you could have did. You could have not put your hands on that man. That's what you could have did. Now let me tell you a story that happened in my own family. Famous story. My sister was at the Essence Festival. And statute of limitations is up now. I can tell the story. My sister was at the Essence Festival. One of her friends went to see somebody performing, so she walked over there and sat down next to her. This 6'2" butch female walked up and said, "You're in my seat." And my sister said if she would have just said it nicely, she would have got up. But she walked up and was like, you in my seat. And my sister said, "I don't see no names on these seats." And then the lady flipped the chair up and made my sister fall on the ground. Yeah. And then my sister told my friend, "Don't go nowhere, I'll be right back." And she went and got my mother. My mother's from Newark, New Jersey, Webster Street. All right? My mother said, "Where's she at?" And they went and walked through the crowd. And somebody got in her way as they were walking, and my mother shoved her out the way. And my sister was like, "No, not her, not her." But that's how my mother was go time. And then she walked up on the lady, was like, "Yo, you put your hands on my daughter?" And then she was like, "Well, your daughter." And it was a whop, whop, whop. And then my aunt hopped on the lady's back and started stabbing her in the head with a pin. Yeah. And then the lady fell on the ground, and then my sister said she couldn't let my, they whooping her ass, so I had to jump in. So she started stomping on the lady's stomach, and my aunt is stabbing her. My mother's punching her in the face. And then everybody's like, "Yo, man, damn, they whooping their ass." You hear people in the background, "Shit, get her ass whooped." And he's like, "The cops coming, y'all better go." And my mother lost her shoe. But it's a famous story, because clearly, my mother was the you know what I mean? She was about that life. They called it Diane Start Something Jones when she was in Newark. And we was like, "Ma."
Nickname is crazy.
We was like, "Ma, why are you still doing this kind of stuff? She should have jumped on my daughter." You know, when your parents is about it, there's always at least one time where you figure out, wait a minute, they wasn't just telling stories. Right? Every time they done whooped my ass, they was taking mercy on me, because look what they did to these strangers. So, fast forward back to this kid story. Don't put your hands on people if you're not ready. Listen, we live in a day and age where weapons are not only commonplace, they're encouraged. Every time I turn around, are white Republicans telling me how much they love their gun, how much they love protecting themselves, how much freedom means they could kill whoever in self-defense. I live in Florida. Everybody got guns. An old white man is more liable to kill you in the middle of traffic than a gang member in Florida, because everybody got guns. Everybody got them. So you can't go around talking reckless and doing what you want to do to people. And if something happens and you're that angry that you think you gotta put some hands on it, think to yourself, are you willing to die over this? And if you're not willing to die, don't cross that line. So if that seat wasn't worth death, he shouldn't have put his hands on that kid. Because we live in a country where everybody got guns, everybody's with the violence. We live in a violent country. And then the Republicans or whoever trying to say, oh, this black kid is violent. We live in a violent country, B. Like Trump is threatening every country on earth for the slightest thing. They talking about we just gonna go over there and take Greenland, and if you got something to say about it, we gonna send the army over there. Like we live in America is based on violence. We were born out of violence. That's how America won our independence. That's how slaves freed themselves. We freed ourselves. When we were slaves, we freed ourselves. When they enslaved us, we freed ourselves by going to war with the niggas who enslaved us. Unfortunately, I feel like the nigga who's trying to enslave everybody now, we're gonna have to go to war again, but that's another story. But my point is, I would wish people could solve things with their hands and not have to kill people, but don't put your hands on nobody. And so son got into a fight with this other young man, and they fought, and unfortunately that young man's choices to defend himself led to both of our families never being the same again. But this isn't about black and white. It's not about Republican and Democrat. This is something that never should have happened between two human beings. And you know what? The Republican niggas got online and said, this guy's he must be some type of softie or something like that. And I'm like, yo, aren't you the same people that be screaming, stop doing identity politics? Aren't you the same people that say race doesn't matter? Aren't you the same people that call everybody race pimps and race baiters and all that kind of stuff? You know why? Because when you bring up race to defend your position or to bring up why you were aggrieved, they immediately use that as a way to attack you or to bring less validity to what you're saying. But when they use it to prove their points, that's all good. That's because they don't care either way. All of it is just political for them. They're just politicized. They're just using the race or any story or any detail to try to make the point that they want to make in the first place. R.I.P. to that child that got into that altercation and lost his life, and may justice prevail for the black kid that decided to do what he did. I hope both the families can heal from it. My heart goes out to both black and the white families, and y'all gonna learn that your true enemy ain't got nothing to do with black or white. All right? Your true enemy, we are in a time where they're using race to just help divide us so they can go ahead and take more advantage of us. Y'all gotta learn that shit. Your enemy ain't the other side. Your enemy ain't Republican or Democrat. Your enemy is the niggas that's trying to rob your country blind and take your freedoms away and change the way of life as you know it.